Hello and welcome to the Super Important Show. I am one of your hosts, Destin Diodato. Tonight we have so many fun things. First up, we have the Catholic schools that decided to give away thongs for Mother's Day. Gross. Second, find out who's tracking your cheese. And third, we discuss, would you rather be 20% more attractive or 10% smarter? Don't worry, audience, we know that you're super attractive and super smart, so you don't need to get any smarter or more attractive because you're already the best. As I mentioned before, I am one of your hosts, but I have two other people with me to help figure all of this stuff out. First up, I have, if you're going to Vegas this weekend, don't remember, it's always best to bet on Booth. Heather Jules Booth, how you doing?
I just need you to understand that you started that intro, and I was like, where is he going with this? Because I don't know.
I never know half the time.
I love that. Those are the best intros. Doing great. Yeah.
Cool. And our guest host for this evening, one of our put your virtual hands together for the fun and fiery Audrey Sprouse. Audrey, how are you?
I am great. As Kourtney Kardashian says, I'm just living life. So.
That is wonderful. I'm glad that you are. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. I forgot to take our graphic down. That's fine. We got it. Nobody cares. Only me. Audrey, for folks who are seeing you for the first time, tell us a little bit about you. What's your deal? I say confrontationally.
Who am I? I am a human, and
nice.
I do comedy things such as writing and directing. Who am I? What am I? I think in the comedy I feel my identity is writing sketches about Harry Styles.
Mm-hmm.
I have written a lot. So that's me. I love llamas. And I partake in too much trash TV.
Okay.
So that's kind of watching, not being in it.
Yeah. Cool. All right, you guys want to get into it? You want to get into our first segment?
Why not?
Yeah.
As usual, World You Crazy. Heather, kick us off.
Oh, I'd love to. Great. We have a little adventure hot on the heels of Mother's Day. Most of us, people gave their mothers gifts or dinner or something that you think of when you think of a mother. But what you don't typically get your mother is a red thong.
What?
Unless you go to this Philadelphia Catholic school where they bought. So let me set the stage. The kids were offered the opportunity to buy their mother a rose. It's a Mother's Day flower sale. And these kids bought their moms faux roses. What they didn't realize was inside these faux roses, nestled in, were thongs. And we're talking like 90s lingerie model thong. Or like stuff that you're going to see on mannequins down on like the Village thong.
Yeah,
like,
stores that you don't normally go into.
These are not just like comfort thongs, which I don't think that's a thing, but I think you know what I mean. Like this isn't just like I have to not have a panty line thong. These are like business thongs.
Yeah. Okay. So Julia's saying she sees nothing traumatizing about this, which I think she's saying sarcastically, but you haven't seen the thong yet. Like,
we know what Julia means.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead and let's take a look at this photo, and then I'll read a little bit more.
Oh, you want to do the photo or the video?
Oh, let's do the video.
Okay.
Let's do the video.
Oh,
look at that rose. Oh.
So pretty.
So pretty. What's in it? Oh my God, Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I cut away from it. I'm sorry. I cut away from it before it got good.
No, I think I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we saw what we needed to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the still of it if we want it.
Yeah, it's got them hearts.
Anyway, sorry.
He's wearing a firefighter shirt, so he's gonna be fighting some kind of fire. It says that the school, I like that the article says it was obviously a mistake. I mean, was
What?
it? I guess so. And they sent out an email to the parents saying the roses sold at our Mother's Day plant sale were not single faux flowers as originally intended. Instead, it was a Valentine's Day gift intended for adults. The administration will determine how this error occurred and take steps to prevent a further reoccurrence, which I also think is hilarious because, like, I assume it's like any other job, especially in today's world where everyone is overworked and has too many things to do, probably underpaid. So I guarantee this was somebody was given this task and they were told, get some roses. We can't afford real ones, so get faux roses. Also, in case someone has allergies, that keeps it safe. And, you know, somebody went online and they were probably stressed and probably had 16 angry parents yelling at them about stuff already. And they were just like, oh, faux roses, here we go. And like missed the part about the thongs, or like it was buried somewhere. Who knows? But this is my theory. And it's amazing.
But Julia asked the question:
how do you buy that many bulk thongs by mistake?
Right, because here's the thing. Like, I, the buyer, may look at it and go like, oh, I want to buy fake roses. Yeah, I made this mistake. But somewhere there's a seller out there going, wait a minute, this the address for this is a school. Shouldn't I tell them?
No, companies do not care. Most companies are not going to sit there. The era of personal touch is pretty much over. Also, like, I think, you know what? Because I'm somebody who would kind of notice patterns and like in my professional life, I would be like, that seems a little odd. I wonder if I want to reach out. But people are so defensive nowadays that if I saw that, my personal response was that I would laugh and I would go, I wonder if this is not supposed to be this. But you know what? I'm not going to question it. Maybe they're doing a production of something. I don't want them telling me mind your own, because everyone's so feisty and defensive nowadays. I would just ultimately not say anything.
Right. Maybe they're doing a production and they need 500 thong roses.
What if they're doing High School the Full Monty or something and they were like, we needed these thongs? Like, who knows?
It's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking it's like a Valentine's Day sale, like the cheapest they could get. And it was like, well,
it was probably in clearance.
Yeah.
Probably this person that ordered it, like maybe this poor person was like, I got a deal. I did such a good job.
Yeah.
Like, you know. I also quickly am Googling faux rose thong just to see, you know, like what's out there. What are the options? And,
Your Facebook ads are going to love you for that.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to get so many weird targeted ads now. Surprise G-string in a red rose. This is not just a plastic rose. Take a closer look and you will find a G-string. Wink, wink. What a great description.
What do you think the receive to throw out ratio was on those roses? Like, I'm assuming
a lot less than the school wants to think.
Right. Yeah, I'm assuming it wasn't like 100% got thrown out. There are at least like, say, like 5% of people that were like, yeah, I'm going to keep this like sexy porn thong.
I think there's definitely going to be people who like are outraged because there's going to be different levels of outrage. There's going to be your outrage that's legitimate, conservative, like, my body, how dare you, that I don't look at my body, thongs are evil, the devil, whatever. And then I think you're going to have people who are like, this is inappropriate for this school and a Catholic school to give me, but okay. And then I think there's going to be people like in this video who were clearly delighted by it. Like, I love this video because it was obvious that both parents were like not actually mad, that they were just like, can you believe the school did that? And like they were 100% going to use that.
Right. I get mad at any parent that would like get mad about that because like it was clearly a mistake. They clearly did not intend for that to happen. Nobody intends for that to happen.
I agree. Nobody intends for that to happen, but
but also that type of school.
Parents.
Right.
And it's a Catholic school. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, part of me, like, I feel like I'd be that parent that, you know, like when you get older and you're like parents, or at least my mom recently sent me this, this thing I made when I was like 4, like a Christmas wreath with my hands. I don't know. And she like framed it for me and was like, here, it's something you made as a youth. And I feel this would be a prime thing to like have it framed, and then on your kid's like 18th birthday be like, here's the rose you gave me for Mother's Day.
Oh my God.
I just feel like that's the way I'd want to go.
I like that. I think that.
Parent. Yeah.
It's also the story that like you use to like fuck up your kid's life, like when they're like dating somebody in the future, like, hey honey, remember when you got me that thong rose for Mother's Day? And you're like, oh, I am not dating you anymore, sir.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Like that would
Weird.
Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Do we have anything more that we want to discuss on this story, or should we move on to cheese?
I think the last thing is just that I love that this article quotes "Every rose has its thorn."
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to shoehorn that lyric in.
Yep. As did we.
I mean, yes, we did, but of course. But I just think that's great.
Yep.
So yeah.
All right.
I love it.
All right, Audrey, take it.
Well, let's talk about cheese, everybody. So, okay, the Parmigiano Reggiano makers are embedding tiny trackers. I could not say that correctly before I came on, so that's why the amazing cheer just happened. But yeah, so most people should understand. To help stop cheese fraud. I forgot the most important thing. I was so focused on Parmigiano Reggiano.
Right, the plague that is cheese fraud that is happening all over the world right now.
Absolutely. So we're going to take a serious note now and share that most people understand that when they grab Kraft Parmesan cheese, they're not getting the official Parmigiano Reggiano from Italy, but less casual Parmigiano fraud is an actual serious issue for producers. Like many European products, true Parmesan cheese has protected the designation of origin, and according to Parmigiano Reggiano, I didn't practice that word, the LLC, the official trade group of cheese, the amount of fraud is almost as big as product sales. Authentic Parmigiano Reggiano sales, I'm going to keep saying it, are around 2.44 billion, while the fraud of cheese, I remember 2.44 billion. The fraud is 2.8 billion.
Wow. So yeah,
that is,
it's serious.
What?
Yeah. So now my old friends at Parmigiano Reggiano have a new high-tech
All right, now you're showing off. But anyway.
I am. I'm happy. Yeah. But yeah, they are fighting counterfeit cheese, and it involves technology you shouldn't even be able to notice. They have teamed up with a place, which is a leading producer of case and cheese marks, and P-Chip, which creates digital tracing technology to put tiny food-safe transponders in legitimate wheels of, everyone say it with me, Parmigiano Reggiano. So for the past 2 decades, these wheels have already featured a unique tracking code, but now it is tested embedding P-chip micro transponders. I just boggled all of that, so I apologize. Basically, long story short, they're going to explain that the innovation combines food-safe Bayesian levels with the P-chip micro transponder, blockchain, which I know y'all want to know what that means. It's a blockchain anchor that creates a digital twin for physical items. This scannable new food tag is smaller than a grain of salt and highly durable, delivering next generation visibility and traceability. So, long story short, yeah, Your food is now tracked for cheese due to the cheese fraud.
But now the conspiracy theorist in me says, okay, great. Sure, now you're tracking my cheese, but what if I eat the transponder? Now you're tracking me. Now you're just tracking people who are eating cheese. And who eats all that cheese? Italians. You're tracking Italians. That's what this whole thing is about. It's about figuring out what Italians are up to and trying to do something bad with that information. I think that's clearly obvious
just the mafia? Now. Is this a mafia thing?
That's what
it could be.
I was gonna say.
It could be.
This is wild. So what the fraud is Parmesan that's not real?
Mm-hmm.
Like fake Parmesan? So what is the fake Parmesan? Is it just cheese that's not officially from, I see Julia in the chat was saying she's been in that region and it's like super serious. So is the fraud cheese cheese that's not made there? What is how I'm confounded by this fraud.
I think it's probably similar to like you can't call something champagne if it's not from like the Champagne region, so it's probably like that similar kind of thing.
It's like Scotch tape, but it's not Scotch tape, but we all just call it Scotch tape, but that's actually the brand name.
Right. So
like
everybody's trying to pretend like they're super fancy
We're
cheese.
Parmesan, and they're not.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
So
that's crazy. And then the fact that they're putting a tracker in the cheese, like, talk about getting angry about stuff like, oh, accidental thongs and roses. That's an accident. Deliberately putting a tracker in cheese? How do you know that's safe? What is that?
Yeah.
What is that? Not my cheese.
Exactly.
Now I'm going to be suspicious of any Parmesan that I eat.
And as Julia points out, so authentic is more expensive. Yeah, that's really generally what it is.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's how they get you. They're like, oh, it's the brand name, so suck it, you're paying twice as much.
Yeah.
Wow.
That makes sense, in my opinion.
So if it's not expensive, then it's fake. Am I eating fraud cheese?
Yeah.
Thinking about the Parmesan that I've had, I'm like, oh my God, I'm eating fraud cheese.
Probably most of the cheese you've eaten is a lie, I would think.
Wow. That's really sad.
Isn't
That's
it?
Deep.
Wait, can I ask a question? Because I know when people like love cheese and they're, you know, like they'll say, oh, I'm addicted. Like I think about cheese all the time. I wonder if that's the tracker of the fake cheese that people are actually into.
You think people are addicted to cheese tracker? Yeah.
I think so, because then they can have more and then they get tracked.
Yeah. And
maybe.
As Leah was pointing out, my phone already tracks me now for my cheese. It's true.
Wow,
everything's tracking
right?
you. Yeah.
Such nonsense.
Yep.
Like, cheese. I just want to eat my cheese in peace.
Always.
Yeah.
I mean, I do eat a lot of fake cheese though, but it's like not even fake. It's like fake. Like they say they're fake. You know what I mean?
They're not pretending to be.
Wait, what cheese are you eating that says that it's fake?
Like Vio Life and
like vegan cheese substitutes where they're like, and they will brand themselves as like fake cheese.
Yeah.
Not real cheese.
Yeah.
By the way, live from Paris.
Yep, live from Paris. Joy Masters is joining in.
Why are you late, Joy?
Joy, it is 2:20.
What a treat.
Yep.
What a treat. We've got some stars in the audience tonight.
Yeah.
This is a treat.
Yeah.
Star-studded.
Yeah. This is a star-studded chat.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. We got to read her comment. It is serious about food. Same kind of regulations on prosciutto and the like. They don't. They don't fuck around. There was an Italian place that I went to where they would fly their cheese in every day. And I'll be honest with you, it was real good. It was like,
of course it was.
It was like real good, but it was not inexpensive because when you fly cheese across the planet, they charge you for it. So, but it's worth it.
But cheese doesn't fly cheap. I'm sure it's like first class.
Oh yeah.
It's gotta have like.
Apparently, Joy is being kept up in Paris by Paris Magic. Thank you for the Paris Magic, Joy. It's very nice having you here. Do we want to move on to our next story?
Yes.
So okay, So I'm going to tell this story, and the story is exciting, but it in a similar conspiracy theory section. This story almost feels like it's like too good to be real. Let me bring up my my notes on this. Okay, so there's a guy by the name of Darren Harrison. He's on a fishing trip and he's coming back from the Bahamas, and he takes one of those like little Cessna planes. I will bring up the thing, which will spoil what's happening. But he's bringing a Cessna plane. His wife is 7 months pregnant. He's just having a good time. He's chilling out. He takes like a casual photo of him with his shoes off and his bare feet up in the plane. Everything's going fine. As you can tell from the graphic, things take a turn. All of a sudden, the pilot turns to him and says, "Hey, I'm having a headache and everything's a little bit fuzzy," and then passes the fuck out. So it's just him, the pilot's friend, and the pilot who is now fully passed out. The plane starts to go into a nosedive, and the guy looks over at the pilot's friend, who's just like, "I don't know," and then Darren jumps over the pilot, grabs the wheel, slowly pulls them out of a nosedive, because he's seen in like TV and movies that if you try and pull it too hard, that the wings will rip off. So he slowly pulls them out of
What, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's horrifying.
And then like gets them like, gets them about level, and then he goes to like, because he's got like a headset like everybody else does, he goes to like call the tower or whatever, and realizes that his head is actually just not attached to anything. It had frayed and like come off. So then he has to like grab another person's headset, because he can't get the headset from the pilot, who's like slumped over. So finally he gets that. Then the ground is like, "Hey, where are you?" And he's like, "I have no fucking idea. I can see Florida." And they're like, "Great." So they just have him fly in a straight line for 10 minutes until they figure out which plane is his.
Wow.
Then he like, first he's like on the he's talking to the tower. Then the signal goes bad. Then he's got to like get on his cell phone, which says that you can use your cell phone that high up. The whole thing's been a lie the whole time.
What?
And of all the people on the other line, it's a guy by the name of Captain Morgan. So Captain Morgan gets on.
No.
Yes. Captain Morgan gets on the line, and Captain Morgan's job, outside of working like in the tower, is to be a flight instructor for new pilots. What are the odds? But there he is. So he talks this guy through the whole thing about how to eventually land the plane. And as they're getting down, there's like these little flaps that kind of slow you down, which makes like flying a lot easier. They broke. So now he's landing this plane with no flaps. Eventually he gets down, lands, and is like, "Hey, I can taxi the plane over to the airport if you want me to." And they're like, "No, just fucking stay there. You just landed a plane."
Just quit while you're ahead, buddy.
Right.
And he did like a whole Today Show interview, and here was the line that really like pissed me off with the whole thing. And this is because I'm a bad religious person. He said, like, "I wasn't scared because I could feel the hand of God was on that plane." And I was like, the hand of God made the pilot pass out. Like, you can't pick and choose which of the God
you can't
things.
Pick and choose. If you want to believe that, right? If you truly are like, God is guiding all these things, then why did God knock the pilot out in the first place?
Right.
Yeah.
So
rude.
God's not throwing tests at you. I don't believe that.
No.
God's not sitting there going, "Let's see how this turns out."
Right. Like,
yeah. No.
He's not that petty. She, they, whomever this God is, not that petty.
Right.
So that's what happened. Like, this all feel like, and I wish I had a picture of the guy. I forgot to get a picture of the guy. The guy's also like good looking. So it was one of those things where I was like, I'm sure it happened, but it feels like too good. It feels like too right out of a movie. Like Captain Morgan, who's a flight instructor, just happens to fucking be there to help you land the plane. Everything goes flawlessly.
Florida.
Yeah, the pilot's fine. The pilot's going to be fine. Like, they didn't say exactly what he had, but like,
Oh, that was my question. What happened to the pilot? Why did the pilot just pass out?
Yeah, they didn't give that because I feel like it's probably his like a medical kind of thing or whatever.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sure.
Maybe.
As Leo points out, this is a flight fighter freeze to the max. Yes, this fucking guy, like, because he had like seconds to like figure out what he was going to do, and like the pilot's friend knew nothing, so he had to like save everybody. I mean, I like to think we'd all do that, but who knows? Like, I would definitely try and like yank it out of the,
and
break it up.
I wouldn't know. Like, I mean, God bless that he knew enough that he'd like seen the stuff on TV about, because I didn't know that, and I think my first impulse would be like, pull the joystick. I don't even know if that's how you fly planes anymore. I'm just assuming, but I would be like, do I pull this joystick? What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my friend had a flight simulator thing because he wanted to be a pilot in high school. And I went over once and tried to do it, and I crashed within seconds every time. So I feel like in that situation, I'd be like, I can't do this. I will kill everybody. At least from the flight simulator I did. Yeah. So.
Joy pointing out it feels like a dream. Yeah, it feels like a dream most people have had.
Absolutely.
But like it usually didn't go as well. Julia saying, is it perhaps too many drinks? Captain Morgan helped him land the plane.
A very good question.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. It feels like too like.
Yeah. The finale of this story is they find out Captain Morgan didn't exist.
Yeah.
Like, there's no Captain Morgan. What?
That's
no.
Steven.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joystick button A, button B, exactly. Yeah. Just like, what?
Yeah. And here's the thing too that that I didn't mention earlier. The flight instructor who was giving him the instructions had never flown that particular plane. He had flown a similar plane. So a lot of what he was saying is like, there should be a knob that kind of looks like this, and was hoping for the best. And it worked out. But like, they gave like a demonstration of all the things that he had to do. And for the most part, like the joystick thing is relatively like true. There's like a pull back, push forward, left, right kind of thing that you're doing for the steering part. But like the deceleration part is like one knob decelerates, one knob, or like, you know, one thing that you pull down does something else. But like, if you did the wrong one, if that plane had them in the wrong order, the plane, like the engine stalls and everybody dies. So it was a miracle, but it was like, that's my point. It was like too much of a miracle. It feels like, what are the odds of it being this miracle? So, but it happened. Wild. It happened, or at least that's what the government wants you to believe. But I know.
Now I want to know, does that person want to be a pilot now that they've done it once?
Oh,
like, are they going to walk away and be like, new thing?
Oh yeah, that was the other fucking thing that made it too. This is sad, but it was the other thing that made it too. Whatever. Like, so. They interviewed the wife. The wife's sister, her husband passed away the previous year when her sister was 6 months pregnant. So now the wife was 7 months pregnant, and she gets a call on the phone when the guy had 20 more minutes in his flight before it was supposed to land. So she's like, oh, he's definitely dead. And like, I can't do this again because like my sister just lost her husband. Now I'm going to lose my husband. It was kind of thing. And it was like, what? Yeah. It's too convenient. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Anything else on this, or should we move on to our next segment?
This is a wild story.
Yeah.
It is.
It's so scary.
This, unlike most of our stories, you can actually like YouTube and see all the interviews. Like most of our stories are so ridiculous that nobody actually like covers them more than local news. This one was on the Today Show.
Because this is like, I mean, this is talk about it being like a sketch or an improv thing where someone would be like, look at this crazy thing we made up, and we're like, no, it's real. And then someone comes in and is like, I'm Captain Morgan, and everyone's like, come on,
yeah,
but nope, real life.
All right, which brings us to our next segment, What the Fact, where I present a question to you guys, give you some choices, you tell me which is true. Folks in the chat, feel free to play along. I want to know your opinions as well. Which brings us to our first question, which is, why are butterflies called butterflies? Does anybody know offhand? Or do you want, I assume you want the answers. I assume you want the choices.
Please.
Here are your choices. It's from the Dutch for butter shit. because their first poop after becoming butterflies looks an awful lot like butter? Or is it B, is from the German for butter licker, because they would sneak into barns and lick all the butter and it was gross? Or is it C, is it for the French for butter fiend, because they excrete an enzyme that can potentially poison butter?
I say C. The French.
You say C.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heather, what about you?
I'll go. Okay. I don't think it's A.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't. I feel like it's not A.
No, I don't feel like the Dutch are that.
I'm gonna go with B because that feels like it could be a German word.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could hear that being like butterflies or something.
Okay.
Great. I'm winning that German accent.
So you're going with B? You said?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they licked butter.
Yeah.
That's just absurd. I love it.
All right. Julia's also going with B, as well as Leo. Topping wants it to be C, similar to
Butter.
what Audrey said. The actual answer, and this is one of my little whatever kind of things, the actual answer is that it's A or B. They're not 100% sure, but it's definitely either butter shit or butter liquor. But they're not sure which one it evolved from. But it's definitely one of those two. So
What?
but it is not.
Wow.
It's not butter fiend.
Wow.
It's okay for you to have your butter near butterfly. It's okay for if you have your butter near butterflies, it won't poison you. So I'm sorry that it is A or B. From what I saw, it leaned more towards A, but it's unclear. And I'm sorry.
Really?
Topping is disappointed.
No, that's butter shit.
Yep.
Butterfly.
Sorry, Topping. I apologize. The rest of them have definite answers, so don't worry. Now, okay, so for the next one, people talk about how you can't arrest a president and you can't try a president for anything like that. Guess what? A president has been arrested. Franklin Pierce was actually arrested while he was president for a crime. What was that crime? Was that crime were he accidentally shooting someone while he was cleaning his gun? Was it for running over an old lady with his horse? Or is it for slapping a protester who gave him an insult with a glove after he gave him an insult that he did not like? Heather, I'll go to you first.
I mean, I love C because that feels so like. Don't they do that in Shakespeare where they like hit each other with gloves and stuff?
They do.
And, like in the 1800s, they did that. I know that was like a huge insult to hit people with gloves and like hit people in the face with gloves and stuff. It was a huge insult. I'm going to fully admit I'm bad about knowing when Franklin Pierce is from.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. You know what? I'm going to go with the one that my heart loves, which is C.
Okay.
I'll go with C.
Joy is going for all three for the chaos. She's going Michelle. Leo thinks it's A, but I prefer it to be C. Also
C
going for the trifecta. Julia's going for C. Topping is going for B. Audrey, where are you coming in?
See, I just remember Andrew Jackson liked to have like shootouts because he used to get really drunk and angry in Nashville. Like, so he died with a bullet. Like, so like the shooting thing is like, no, I don't think.
Okay.
But so it's like, so that one's out.
Yeah. Brandon's going for D, solicitation, which is also a fair option. I hope that one's right.
That's fair. Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of in alignment with Heather, which is like, yeah, this is like a really big insult to somebody to like slap them with a glove. I don't know. I feel like C.
Okay.
We just want it to be C. We really want it.
Yeah, I just really want it to be C.
I wanted to be C as well, but it is B. He ran over a lady with his horse.
Wow.
He
Wow.
eventually got off for some sort of lack of evidence or something like that, even though I don't understand how you can run over a lady with your horse
Same.
and there not be like there not be enough evidence for it. But
was it an accident or was it like a deliberate?
I mean, I believe it was deliberate, but I wasn't there. So
Fair. That's fair.
like,
Nay.
Nay.
Nay. I say nay.
Nice.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
you can't cross-examine a
Chat's
horse.
on fire.
Yeah.
Chat's correct.
Right.
Chat is on fire.
right, and then Julie, and then Joy,
Yep.
make it a political because he's a white
Yep.
male. Probably
No, it's
true,
true.
but like,
No, it's true.
and topping, he was president. Of course, he got off. I want to do the double entendre there, but I'm not gonna. All right. Question number 3.
Can't wait to Google this one later.
When the FBI met with the inventor of Tickle Me Elmo, who did they believe he actually might be? The guy who made one of the most fun toys one of the most sought after toys for one particular year. Did they think that he was the Zodiac Killer? Did they think that he was D.B. Cooper? Or did they think that he was the Unabomber? In addition to inventing Tickle Me Elmo, the FBI was pretty convinced that he was one of these people. So,
No!
yes. Spoiler, he wasn't one of these people, but they were pretty convinced that he was. So,
Oh my god!
Audrey, I'll go to you first.
Wild.
The Zodiac Killer.
All right.
It's the Zodiac.
Julia's going with C. Joy's suggesting an option D of a Russian spy. Yeah. So, what do you got?
I think it's the Zodiac Killer.
You think it's the
'cause
Zodiac
that's
Killer?
Hysterical. Yeah, like Elmo, Tickle Me Elmo, like it's got in my heart. It's got to be the Zodiac Killer because that's the stupidest thing ever.
All right.
Yeah. I'm always wrong in these though. So
I'm also going to go with the Zodiac Killer. Just because I feel like for a really long time, and even I guess now, but like for a really long time, that was such an obsession. Like I feel like every time the news was on, every once in a while, someone would be like, "Is it the Zodiac Killer? Could this finally be the Zodiac Killer? Did we find the Zodiac Killer?" So I feel like, especially remembering when Tickle Me Elmo came out, I feel like that was during a surge of Zodiac Killer frenzy. So I'm going with A.
Okay. All right. One more from Topping is going with C. And if you guys would listen to Topping, you would be right because it was the Unabomber.
Wow.
Because apparently the guy looked exactly like the sketch when he showed up to meet them, exactly like the sketch from the Unabomber, even though that sketch was inaccurate. He also had whatever initials the Unabomber signed things with. He had that like on his hat and stuff like that. So they were like, and he just seemed like a little shifty. So they thought like, oh, this guy's definitely the Unabomber, even though the Unabomber hated technology and Tickle Me Elmo was very technology.
Yeah.
So,
right. Well,
But also, like, if someone who looks like that sketch showed up and was like, "I've made this doll. Look what it does," and then you touch it and it like laughs a lot in a way that is like wildly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I could see you being like, "What's up with
Right.
this one?"
Yeah. I'm not shocked that the inventor of Tickle Me Elmo.
Yeah. And as Leo points out, like the sketch was of sunglasses and a hat and a hood. So like everybody could fucking look like the Unabomber.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
brand.
Yeah. Hey, this guy looks like a rough
Classic
sketch of a white guy
second
with a it's kind of shady.
Yep.
Yes.
Wrong.
Yeah.
It's all tracking.
Yeah. We was killing it in the chat. So yeah. So it's the Unabomber, and I unfortunately capitalized the H. But yeah, so that's our what the facts for today.
Wow.
If you're looking for a Unabomber, or if you're looking for a Unabomber, look no further than the Tickle Me Elmo guy. So, which brings us to our Would You Rathers, which we always point out that, hey, if you have a Would You Rather that you'd like us to do, let us know. We're going to tell you now to do that, as opposed to waiting until the end when the show's almost over. And also, we're going to remind you to like and subscribe, because by liking and subscribing, that helps other people know that the video is fun to watch and all that, and you get to find out when everything's happening. So please do that. Anyway, if you have one, let us know. In the meantime, we will kick off the segment with Heather's Would You Rather.
Yes, I have the exceedingly difficult Would You Rather, which is, would you rather live in a world where they make no new movies or no new music? Right. So, Audrey, as the guest, I'm going to throw it to you first.
Okay.
This sucks.
Yeah, I feel like okay, so here's where my head is at, right? Because initially I was like, no new movies. Or wait, I don't know. See, here's where okay, here's the thing. Like, where I'm coming from is, in terms of music, I like new music, but I always listen to the same thing, like over and like Lady Gaga's, Fame Monster Deluxe, without a doubt, every year with my Spotify Wrapped, is my #1 album. That came out well over 10 years ago and is still my favorite album. And so, like, when I think about it, it's like, yeah, new music is great, but I always just keep going back to the same one anyway. So then it's like, so I guess no new music because I like movies. But then I also don't. No, the movies are long. I don't know. This is hard. I'll stick with my gut. No new music.
No new music. Okay.
Yeah. All right, Dustin.
This one wasn't as hard for me because it's similar to what Audrey was saying. Like, I like hearing new music, but at the same time, like 95% of what I listen to is stuff that's already come out. And I feel like if I did that for the rest, like, first of all, there's so much new music that I haven't listened to. So, like, I probably listen to the same, like, 300 songs all the time. So, like, if I got sick of it, I'd just be like, I guess I'll just like country now. And then there's, like, a million songs that I haven't heard before. So, like, I know that I can kind of, like, figure that part out, but like no new movies I think would sort of bum me out in a greater way, because I can listen to a song 1,000 times. I can only watch certain movies more than like once or twice, and like a lot of movies aren't great. So, as Leo pointed out in the chat, like we already live in a world where they stop making new movies because they do, like, a lot of movies are very similar. If you count all Marvel movies as one movie, then they only release like 4 movies a year. So I feel like music is the way that I would go. What about you, Heather?
All right. I am going to go with no new movies. I'm going to buck the trend.
Okay.
I just have not, I'm just never that I like movies, and there was a period of time where I was super into movies, but I just kind of am like, I don't know. I'm not as into sitting and watching movies as I used to be. Yeah. Whereas, and I also agree, like, nothing's new anymore. Like, there's no real, like, there's nothing really innovative anymore. It's just a rehash or like a big budget or whatever. I don't know, like the golden era of great stuff feels like it's passed a little bit. But boy, do I sound like an old person. Back in my day when they made the movies, and they're not making the good movies anymore. Music is like, yes, both in terms of movies and music, there's always stuff that I'm going to keep coming back to and I'll always listen to over and over again. Yeah. But I think that I get more joy out of discovering new music than I would discovering like new movies. So I would be sadder to not have new music, to like find that discovery of like something brand new or something different, or like see music change in a cool way. Even if like I love to sit and watch like things where they go through all the top hits of each year for like decade by decade, and you just listen to the music change. I just find that so interesting. I'm a more musical person, so I'm gonna go with. I would give up the movies.
Okay.
Also, because I'll just watch the same couple movies over and over again, and it will be fine. So it will be absolutely fine.
Joy saying as much as she is to say it out loud, no new music, which is tough because I know Joy loves. I mean, Joy was a music major, so Joy's music means a lot to her. So that's a big one. Topping cannot choose.
Yeah, it's tough.
But then pointed out correctly, like technically that you can still make TV shows. Because there's nothing about this rule that says you can't make new TV shows. So essentially, like, aren't things like on HBO essentially movies that are TV shows that are movies and stuff like that? Like,
kind of, yeah.
You know, so you could get around it.
Yeah.
Oh, and as Brandon points out, no new music would mean no more musicals, which would be kind of a bummer. Although
I agree.
Although I would say that, like, I don't know how many musicals, newer musicals I've seen recently. You know, like, because so many of them are like, you know, are based on like TV shows and movies and stuff like that. Like, I don't need to see SpongeBob.
You gotta get the rich old white people out of theater.
Yeah.
We were just making theater for them, and it's boring.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
probably doing the same for movies, but especially for musicals, I think.
Yeah.
That's why we're getting like, okay, I could go off.
Yeah.
I could go off on this topic.
My dad's in the chat saying no new music.
Hi, Dad.
Yeah, no new music. So you can still listen to classic rock, which is true. There's so much like, and the sad thing for folks who are a little bit younger is that like things that we listened to when we were younger are classic rock now too. Classic rock changes, and it's super bummer what's on the classic rock station. First time I heard Guns N' Roses on classic rock, I was just like, that's bullshit. And like the album came out
classic rock.
Right. And like the album came out like 30 years ago, and I was like, yeah, shut up.
It's like when people talk about vintage clothing and they're like, look at this vintage piece I got from the 90s, and I'm like, you shut your face now.
Right.
Yeah, they just do that to be disrespectful. That's the Gen Z rudeness.
Rude.
Exactly.
Like, they're just doing it to hurt our feelings. Like, they don't mean that.
Over 30 years.
Do we want to move on to question number 2? Because it looks like no new music won. I'm sorry, Heather, but it looks like no new music won.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's a tough. It is a tough choice.
Yeah, which brings us question number 2.
Yeah. So, would you rather become 20% more attractive or 10% smarter? Dustin, I'll let you start us off with that.
Okay, so I think it'll be different for different people. I'm gonna go with 20% more attractive because I feel like I would have more of a like. I don't know, like I feel like that would make more of a difference. I feel like to some degree there's like a level of if I was smarter, I don't know that it would help me very much, because like most of the jobs that I do are relatively like repetitive and like things that I already know how to do, and maybe I could be a little bit more efficient. But I feel like if I was 20% more attractive, it'd be like easier to get jobs and stuff like that, because people like to hire people who are super hot and all that, and like people are just like nicer to you in general and want to be around you. So I feel like attractive would like help. Like 20% more attractive would help me more, I think, than 10% smarter. Although I don't know like what the threshold is. Like I don't know if like I'm just too dumb to like figure something super awesome out. But you know, but like I because I'm that dumb, I'm going to go with 20% more attractive.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Heather, where is your head at with that?
I hate this because this goes against who I feel like I am as a person, because I don't believe in like using looks and vanity. but I am gonna pick 20% more attractive because it is an unfortunate world that we live in where things are easier. The prettier you are, the easier things are. So I just feel like people would be like Dustin says, and like Dustin says, people are just gonna be more helpful and nicer. And not that I'm looking for those things, but like if your life can be like, if you could be treated nicer because people are like, and I hate all of the words coming out of my mouth right now. I also need to preface, I hate this so much. But the other thing, and this is like, I'm gonna be a little obnoxious, but I think I'm already pretty smart. So I'm like, okay, 10% smarter. Like, yeah, that's cool. I could probably like 10% smarter means I'd probably gain some like really super smart, ultra level of something where like I could invent an iPod or something. But yeah, I'm just gonna go with the 20% more attractive.
And I mean, you could have the situation that Leo's talking about, pointing out already too hot. So
that's a good burden to bear.
Right.
Like that's the burden you want.
Right. So you gotta go with smarter because like more hot is dangerous. Yeah.
It's dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna just so we have it in print. I'm gonna point out Joy's comment saying I'm already super smart. I don't think that is true, but I appreciate your statement. But
you are.
Brandon saying that I'm already super hot too. Thank you. Although I think Joy is offended by that. Or maybe agreeing or offended. I'm not sure. So we'll see. Anyway, I'm trying to go through all of these comments. There are a lot. Thank you guys so much for being like so active in chat. I think 10% smarter would help me love the universe at this point in time. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's very possible. And Space Cats, 10% smarter, so I could...
Who's Space Cats?
I don't know who Space Cats is, but...
What a great name.
Yeah. Pointing out 10% smarter so you can have extra money to get plastic surgery and then become 50% hotter. I don't know if that's true. Just because, like, plastic surgery, there's, like, an amount that you can do before it goes from making you hotter to, like, a lot weirder.
Right,
so, like...
Yeah. I was gonna say, but if you're smart, you know the right plastic surgeons to go to. So you're smart enough to know, like, oh, this person can do did y'all know this? You can like get this part like taken off.
Like the throat. Yeah, like, well, that's the thing, like any...
Like, they can literally see my beautiful profile.
Yes.
They can take like this much off and you still have a neck and like it just takes away.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Plastic surgery, like all that like cosmetic surgery is great from like here down. Like go nuts, do whatever you want to do. And everything like here, like you have a very small threshold before
I think it's
before you become gross.
Small.
It is,
I feel like you can sort of see in people, like when you see people who've aged just a little too well and you're like, I just think they've had something slight done, like celebrities, but it's still good, or like they leave just enough natural sort of, we're all thinking of the creepy, like the what was it, the person that looked like was it like, did they call her like cat lady or something, where she like had her face was all pulled tight and puffed up and like
maybe
really scary. It's just too much. Anyway, yes, 10% smarter, so you know not to get that kind of plastic surgery.
Right. If I'm smart, I know when to stop. Space Cats for the win from Topping. A lot of love for Space Cats out there.
Space Cats.
Yeah.
Great emoji too.
Yep. Cool. All right. So I think it seems like everybody's going with more, or most people are going with more attractive here, but it sounds like chat's going to go with smarter. So.
Well, I was going to say what I was going to choose.
No, sorry, please.
We haven't gotten Audrey yet.
There's so much like stuff going on in the chat. We didn't get to it. Go for it, please.
Yeah, I mean, Leo kind of took the thunder. What my comment was going to be was I'm already so hot. I don't need to be 20% hotter.
So you're going smarter.
I'm going with smarter.
Okay.
I get it, but at the same time, I love myself, and I think I'm very proud of myself and my attractiveness. I would very much like to be smarter, and like retain like what dinosaurs existed.
That's what you want to use your smarts for is to memorize dinosaurs. You're like, I'm good
so much.
except for my lack of dinosaur knowledge, and then I'm a whole person. That's the argument you're going with. Yeah.
Everybody has their thing.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
fine.
that.
Well, no, because like my boyfriend loves dinosaurs, and I'm always like, "What's the dinosaur you like again?" And he's like, "Lolosaurus," and I'm like, "I can't remember
I just love
this."
that all of us in our brains immediately pictured Marcus, and we're like picturing him going like, "Oh, Mr. Dinosaur!" Like we all did it, right? We all did it.
We all did that.
Julia's offering to tutor you in dinosaur in the meantime.
Thank you.
Joy is chastising me for dinosaur shaming. And Space Cats is saying dinosaur trivia is very important. I'm not saying that it's not. Here's what I'm saying. I love Marcus, but don't do it for a boy. Okay? Don't learn dinosaurs for a boy. Learn dinosaurs if you want to learn dinosaurs. But
Learn
don't do
dinosaurs
it
for you.
Right. Don't do it for a guy. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay? That's it.
Listen, if it was for a guy, I would have had this memorized like year one of our relationship. No, that was just the first. I was doing the top of my intelligence. See, if I were 10% smarter, I would have better things to pull.
Leo, in pointing out how important dinosaur trivia is, imagine you're on a plane. The pilot's attacked by a velociraptor. You have to know that information. That's an excellent point. I had not thought about that.
Like, true.
Right.
You don't know.
You're screwed if you don't know your dinosaur trivia. You're like,
how do you take care of that?
Right. If Captain Morgan calls and says, "Hey, what dinosaur is attacking the pilot?" You're like, "I'm sorry, Captain Morgan, I don't know."
Yeah.
Unless you're 10% smarter.
Exactly. So I'm staying put.
Julia's saying that velociraptors are tiny and you can take them. I don't know. In a Cessna, I don't know if that's true, but you're the expert, so.
Yeah.
I trust it. Julia says it. I trust it.
Yeah.
I trust that.
Taking Julia,
but it could be life or death. So, all right.
Look, we just know we were fed by the media, aka Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
that's what the media told us.
So we're gonna call this one a tie, even though it is probably one of the most ridiculous ones we've had so far. All right, which brings us.
It's tough. It's silly.
Brings us to our last one, which it's not going to be able to live up to that one. Okay, if you had to choose between no longer having cold drinks in the summer or no longer having warm drinks in the winter, which would you choose? I'm going to go to Audrey first.
We did something similar to this question, and was again like yeah. So I didn't learn the lesson. Again, if I were 10% smarter, I would have learned that lesson. Oh my gosh, I feel as if. Oh gosh. Oh, well, I can only have, but then margaritas. Okay, no warm drinks in the winter. Like I can do an iced coffee in the winter and be fine.
Okay. Before we continue, I just want to go to chat for another minute because we got to get Julia back on the show because the statement "I was a fake paleontologist for a whole summer" needs more than just one comment in chat. I need to know what the hell that means. Like, we don't have time to fully get into it, but you can't just throw out "I was a fake paleontologist for a whole summer" and not give us more information. That is she's saying Heather remembers. Heather, do you remember when Julia was a fake paleontologist for a whole summer?
I do.
Give us give us the story there.
I know what she's talking about. No,
I know we're over time, but
it's her story to tell. We'll get her on. She'll talk about it. But this is accurate. I know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
She was.
Joy's pointing out.
Very cool gig.
to answer this question, just putting out she doesn't want to live without hot toddies. It's a fair statement. So, so Audrey, you are going with no warm drinks in the winter. Heather, Heather, what's your...
So kind of like what Joy is saying, I have often said that while I both love a good craft beer, which needs to be cold, and a coffee, I could live without the craft beer. I cannot live without coffee. I will not live in a world without coffee. And I like hot coffee. I will drink hot coffee in the summer. So I gotta go with no cold drinks because I can't give up my warm coffee.
Okay.
I won't do it. Can't do it. Won't do it. I gotta have that sweet, hot, tasty coffee.
All right.
Yeah.
I do not care about coffee for whatever reason. And it's not an insult to you.
Wow.
But
wow.
So here's the problem is that I can't really drink milk, so I have to have it just like straight black. And if I have it,
the best way to have it.
That's exactly the right way.
If I have it in the morning, then it gives me like all sorts of like acid reflux, like craziness, and it like makes my whole body feel bad. So I can drink it at night. But what's the point of drinking coffee at night? Because then you're going to be up forever. So like it just became one of those things that like I never really had. I will occasionally have like a frappuccino, which isn't really like coffee. It's whatever the hell like a frappuccino is. But like I do not get the same joy out of like a warm drink in the winter. That like I'd rather just eat warm food. So like for me, having a cold drink like when I'm hot is just the most refreshing conceivable thing in the world. So I pretty much have to go with cold drink in the summer. So yeah,
I feel that. Also, I have been told that like your acid reflux, if you have it really bad, first off, just cut everything else out anyways and just do the hot coffee, but it does enact that. But I think about this and I'm still staying with what I said. But also, I can't do iced coffee first thing in the morning. I always have a hot coffee. So it would be an adjustment, but for the lemonades and the kombucha and the margaritas, I gotta do it.
Space Cat's in chat is asking, does soup count as a warm drink if you're drinking it from a mug? I say no. I say like soup is soup. Like it's its own food group. So
it's a food, yeah.
Right. So I don't think like hot dog doesn't stop becoming a hot dog if you have it in a bowl. Like I think soup doesn't stop being soup.
If you blend up a hot dog in a blender, it's still a hot dog. Just gross.
No, hot dog is soup.
So yeah, I say you can keep doing soup. Go nuts. You're pointing out she just noticed there's a picture painting of coffee behind Audrey. Is there a picture of coffee behind you?
Yeah, he made it for me. It's a quote. It's there is a hot coffee. Let me see what it says. No, I won't do that. It says, wait.
While you're looking, Leo wants cold drinks year round. Pointing out, agreeing that hot dog is soup.
Yeah, I know.
Right. Soup, Space Cats, I disagree with you that soup is just hot drink or just thick drink. I think like it's got stuff in it, and I get that like there was a time in the 90s where there was that like weird like soda with like bubbles and stuff in it, but like a drink is liquid. There was like a. What? There was like this drink in the 90s that had these little like gelatin balls that would like just float in the drink that I don't really know why it existed other than it was like being weird in 90s. But like that's otherwise like if there's something other than marshmallows in your hot chocolate, like it's like it's not a drink. Anyway, I don't know. I can't get into the definition of what drinks are right now because my brain is broken. All right. So, okay, so we have our answers. I guess since Leo's going with wanting to have a cold drink, I think that means that's a vote for no warm drinks in the summer, which makes this one a tie, which I think is fine. So, and that's our show, guys. That is our there's our final Would You Rather, since we don't have any other ones, which brings us to the end. Audrey, tell people where they can find out more about what is going on in your world.
Yeah, so you can you can follow me on the Instagram. It's a very short. Yep, very short. It's my full name, Audrey Sprouse. You can find me on there. I post a lot of things about my cats, shows that are coming up. You can find me there. You can. Do I say like where else? You can. Okay, cool. Yeah. So you can also find me. I am directing, so you won't see me, but I'll be directing for along with our sister team of the Armory Sketch. I am on Team Myers. So our show is next week at 7 p.m. on Wednesday. Come pull up at the tank, $15. Let's go. And then later this late summer or late spring, early summer, I wrote a sketch show all about Harry Styles. So come see that. I do Shot for Shots as well. Okay, which one I'm in next? I think Jurassic Park. Maybe we'll see. Yeah, so that's where you can find me. Stalk me on the gram, and let's be besties.
Cool. And Heather, how about you?
This Saturday, we're doing Shot for Shot, Little Shop of Horrors at Shillelagh. Yes, I'm playing Audrey in that. Julia is playing one of the plants. I'm playing you, Audrey. Yes, I'm playing you. I'm being proud. And Julia, who's in chat, is playing one of the plants. Nick Carrillo is the other. They're like both playing the plant, which is going to be epic. And a whole bunch of other armory people that you love. I think it's going to be. I was talking to Pedro over the weekend about some things he's planning for it. I'll just tell you, like, you should all just come. It's going to be a treat. It's
Nice.
going to be an absolute treat. So that's at 8 p.m. on Saturday. Yeah, that's the newest thing. I will also be part of Audrey's phenomenal sketch show, late spring, early summer. I'm very excited about that. So can't
Cool.
wait.
Cool.
Yeah.
Should be fun.
Be a blast.
Yeah, and for me, I guess I could bring up the graphic again. I am directing the other half of the show that Audrey team is performing at. My team, Public Service, is in that show at 7 p.m. On Wednesday. Come check that out, and you can always follow us on the Instagrams at Super Important Stuff. That's our show, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again this time next week. Bye.
Rufus is also saying good night, everybody.
Good night, Rufus. Thanks for having me again, y'all.
Thanks for doing it.